From the Renaissance era, Leonardo da Vinci's masterpieces, like the Mona Lisa, revolutionized portrait art through exploration of human expression. During the Baroque period, Caravaggio emerged with dramatic use of light and shadow, capturing intense, emotive scenes that bewildered viewers. The 19th century showcased Vincent van Gogh's vivid works, including Starry Night, which used bold colors and emotive brushstrokes. In the modern era, Frida Kahlo's evocative self-portraits challenged norms and conveyed a powerful personal and cultural narrative. Art, design, and the visionary concepts of prolific artists. Let us delve into the lives of those who brought vibrancy to the canvas of creativity. Welcome to the Artsy Tea channel. I am to serve as your tour guide for this episode. Salvador Dali's life was as surreal as his art, equal parts genius, spectacle, and scandal. Let's dive into life. Born in 1904 in Figueres, Spain, Dali was told he was the reincarnation of his dead older brother, also named Salvador. That belief haunted and inspired him for life. He was a gifted child, drawing obsessively and throwing tantrums that were as theatrical as his later mustache. Dali studied at the San Fernando Academy of Art in Madrid, where he befriended poet Federico Garcia Lorca and filmmaker Luis Buñuel. He was expelled just before graduation for declaring no teacher was qualified to examine him. Classic Dali. In the late 1920s, he joined the surrealist movement in Paris. He developed his own techniques, multiple realities in one image, which he called the paranoiac critical method. This gave birth to works like The Persistence of Memory, 1931, The Melting Clocks. Dali also loved fame. He collaborated with Walt Disney on a short film, Destino, worked with Alfred Hitchcock on dream sequences, and designed surreal sets and fashion. He even appeared on game shows and talk shows in the U.S., becoming a pop culture icon. We will delve deeper into the subject, but first, let us gather the details of his life, as it highly intriguing. Dali's surrealist journey began in the 1920s when artists were trying to dive deep into dreams, the unconscious mind, and the irrational, perfect for someone like Dali, who already had a vivid imagination and a flair for the strange. When he linked up with the surrealists in Paris, it was like tossing gasoline on a creative fire. He didn't just join the movement, he bent it to his will. He invented a technique he called the paranoiac critical method, where he basically trained his mind to see double images and dream while awake. This led to his most iconic works, like those melting clocks in The Persistence of Memory. As for when he realized he was talented, from the jump. Dali always believed he was extraordinary. He didn't wait for the world to tell him. His surrealist years just gave him the tools and the spotlight to prove it. Let's talk about his love life. In 1929, Salvador Dali met Gala, born Elena Ivanovna Diakonova, when she visited him in Spain with her then-husband, poet Paul Eluard. Dali was instantly captivated. He later wrote, "She was destined to be my Gradiva, the one who moves forward, my victory, my wife." She was 10 years older, Russian, magnetic, and already deeply embedded in the surrealist scene. Gala wasn't just Dali's muse, she was his everything. He painted her as a Madonna, a goddess, a cosmic force. He even signed some of his paintings Gala Dali, saying he painted with her blood. She managed his career fiercely, negotiated with galleries, and even used tarot cards to guide his decisions. She was his anchor and his storm. Their relationship was unconventional. Dali, famously shy and possibly asexual, encouraged Gala's affairs with other men. She, in turn, fiercely protected his genius. They married in 1934 and again in a Catholic ceremony in 1958. Despite the drama, they remained inseparable for decades. In later years, their bond cooled. Dali bought Gala a castle in Pubol, Spain, where he could only visit with her written permission. She spent time there with younger lovers, while Dali surrounded himself with beauty and nostalgia. Still, he once said, "Without Gala, it would all end." Let's talk about his celebrity status. Dali's Hollywood chapter was as surreal as his art, full of unexpected collaborations and cinematic dreams. In the 1940s, Dali moved to the US and quickly caught the attention of filmmakers. He worked with Alfred Hitchcock on the dream sequence for Spellbound, 1945, filling it with giant eyes, scissors, and shadowy symbolism. Hitchcock chose Dali specifically for his architectural sharpness and dreamlike precision. But the most legendary team up, Dali and Walt Disney. In 1945, they began working on an animated short called Destino, a poetic love story told through surreal visuals. Dali created dozens of paintings and storyboards, but the project was shelved due to budget issues. It wasn't until 2003, nearly 60 years later, that Destino was finally completed and released, blending Dali's dreamscapes with Disney's animation magic. Dali loved the spotlight, and Hollywood gave him a stage. In his final years, Salvador Dali's life became a surreal reflection of the themes he'd painted for decades: fading time, fractured identity, and the strange beauty of decay. After Gala's death in 1982, Dali was devastated. She had been his muse, manager, and emotional anchor for over 50 years. Without her, he spiraled into depression and isolation. His health declined rapidly. He suffered from tremors, heart issues, and a fire in his home left him badly injured and confined to a wheelchair. But even in this fragile state, his mind remained restless. Artistically, Dali turned inward. He became obsessed with science, religion, and the idea of immortality. His later works explored atomic theory, DNA, and the divine. He called this phase nuclear mysticism. Paintings like Galatea of the spheres and the swallow's tail show a man still chasing the mysteries of the universe, even as his own body betrayed him. He spent his final years in the Dali Theater Museum in Figueres, the surreal palace he designed as a living monument to himself. It was there, beneath the stage, that he chose to be buried, forever part of the dream he built. Dali's last brushstrokes weren't just about art, they were about legacy. He wanted to be remembered not just as a painter, but as a force of nature, and in many ways he still is. Salvador Dali's legacy today is like a surreal echo that keeps rippling through time, bold, bizarre, and endlessly inspiring. He didn't just change how we look at art, he changed how we think about reality. Dali gave permission to dream out loud, to make the subconscious visible, and to embrace the strange parts of ourselves. That's why his influence shows up everywhere, in fashion runways, music videos, digital art, even memes. His melting clocks and double images are more than just visuals. They're symbols of how flexible and layered our world can be. Modern artists, designers, and filmmakers still borrow from his playbook, blending beauty with absurdity, precision with chaos. And in a world that often feels surreal itself, Dali's work reminds us that imagination isn't just an escape, it's a tool for understanding the weirdness of life. His legacy continues to thrive on. I trust you found this story and lesson enjoyable. Please remain attentive for future episodes of the Artsy Tea. Until next time.